I feel like at this time, spirit wants you to one, stop punishing yourself, and two, if you are doing this, stop punishing others for what has happened to you in the past, like in past relationships, because the first card was retribution. And it says punishing others for perceived wrongdoings, a need to listen, suspicious nature getting the best of you. And the only card that came out was a light in the dark, better times ahead, seeing a way out, light at the end of the tunnel. And it's funny because it kind of felt sideways. So I feel like that's what your challenge is not to let your fears get the best of you, not to let what has happened in the past. Like I don't know if maybe I'm speaking to people who, like I said, are still carrying, still healing from certain wounds. I don't know if maybe some people are also dealing with PTSD, but I feel like I'm speaking to people where because the Two of Swords fell sideways as well too. I feel like something is being illuminated for you. And I feel like what's being illuminated is how you kind of self-sabotage your own happiness. I feel like you're about to have a breakthrough. And I feel like it's going to be you being able to one, be able to enjoy your relationships a whole lot more, by I think showing up a whole lot more because I feel like I'm speaking to people where you kind of don't fully give yourself, which I'm not saying because it's like I don't think you need to be everyone's everything. But you have to give yourself the opportunity to get to know people on a deeper level, but that requires you to be open and vulnerable. I think that's what it is. Where I feel like I'm speaking to people who have a harder time with being vulnerable because of, like I said, past situations not working out. Maybe have a hard time being open to new friendships or new connections or even possibly dating. And I feel like what's happening is that like you are about to start having more of those interactions, more of those relationships coming for you. And it's almost like spirit is kind of giving you like this message so that you don't carry what's happened in the past into these new connections because these are brand new people or maybe into your already existing connections, you know what I mean? Because I feel like you are a person that, like I said, a lot of people want to get to know, maybe want to date, they find you very attractive, very magnetic. Like I feel like I'm speaking to people where you are a ray of sunshine, but I feel like you have been through a lot, and I feel like you're still persevering, and I feel like you're still healing, but you're very guarded and very cautious. And I feel like spirit is like it's almost to the point of self-sabotage, and you're not giving yourself. It's almost like you, and maybe I'm speaking to people who maybe your attachment style could also be like an avoidant or a fearful avoidant, where maybe you're afraid of people disappointing you, like how other people have disappointed you in the past. So it's kind of like you sneak away before you're able to like really get to know someone and before someone's able to really get to know you. And I think that's what spirit is like. You deserve a whole lot more for yourself. You deserve deeper connections. You deserve more intimate connections, but that requires you to be present and to push through when certain fears start to pop up or certain dark thoughts start to pop up or if you start to become like suspicious. Like it's really time for you to ground yourself, ground your energy and be like, is this what's really happening or is this because of what's happened to me in the past? And I'm bringing past stuff into the present and spirit doesn't want you to do that. That's what I'm saying. I feel like whether you realize this or not, these I feel like what's going to bring you a lot of happiness, a lot of joy is having these relationships, is having these deeper, intimate bonds with people, whether they be romantic or platonic. Maybe even like coworkers as well too. Like wanting to get along more with your coworkers or wanting to be in like a happier work environment. I feel like spirit is like you just have to keep trying your best not to let what has happened in the past dictate your current relationships or your future relationships. And I do see you guys, like I said, having a breakthrough and you like I said, just needing to lower the guard. And like I said, you know, you can lower the guard a little bit. Get to know somebody first to see if they're worth lowering your guard. But don't let like I said, because this is also about like sometimes your thinking can be a little clouded. And I feel like spirit is like, don't let your darkest thought just win. Don't let it just be like, okay, because I thought of the darkest stuff, this is what it has to be true. No. But yeah, this is what I see for you. So if this resonates, thank you for commenting down below. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for following. If you'd like to work with me, the link is in my bio. And until next time, bye.